Spider-Man is one of the most beloved superheroes of all time, but did you know he's also died a lot? In fact, Marvel has killed off Peter Parker in some of the craziest, weirdest, and sometimes even downright brutal ways imaginable. Today, we're breaking down 15 times Spider-Man actually died in the comics, and how he managed to crawl his way back every single time. So let's swing right in. Mutates into a giant spider. In Spectacular Spider-Man, Peter Parker mutates into a horrifying man-spider creature under the control of the Spider Queen. It looks like Peter is gone for good, until the monster collapses, and a completely reborn Peter bursts out of its corpse, now with organic webbing and even insect telepathy. Yeah, Ant-Man probably wasn't too happy about that. Impaled by the Goblin's glider. The clone saga finally wrapped in Spider-Man number 75 when Norman Osborn impaled Ben Reilly, Peter's clone, with his glider. Ben dies in Peter's arms, and for years Marvel insisted he was gone for good. He only returned 2 decades later in Clone Conspiracy. Drained by the symbiote suit, What If? In What If Volume 2, Peter never rejects the black symbiote costume. Instead, the suit bonds to him until he ages decades in a matter of months. He dies of old age, while the symbiote moves on to possess the Hulk. Brutal. Stabbed by Wolverine. What If Inferno? In What If Volume 2, Number 6, the demonic version of Wolverine skewers Spider-Man during the Inferno storyline. Cap is shredded, She-Hulk is killed, and Spidey doesn't last much longer before Logan's claws take him out. Blasted by Dr. Doom's Secret Wars. During the original Secret Wars, Doom gains the Beyonder's power and wipes out Earth's heroes, including Spider-Man, with one massive energy blast. Luckily, Doom's paranoia accidentally wills them all back to life in the next issue. Dies of a mystery illness in Spider-Man number 70 to 71. Peter collapses from a mysterious sickness and flatlines in the hospital. He even says goodbye to MJ and Ben Reilly before dying. But in true comic book fashion, he wakes up in the next issue totally fine. Classic Parker luck. Poisoned by the owl. Amazing Spider-Man. A poison vulture scratches Peter and the toxin slowly kills him. Spidey actually dies, visits the afterlife, even sees Uncle Ben, before Dr. Octopus saves his life with CPR. Yeah, Otto couldn't let his rival die before their destined rematch. Killed by Morlun, the Other, one of Spider-Man's darkest deaths. In the Other storyline, Morlun brutally beats Peter nearly to death in the hospital. Spidey briefly mutates, kills Morlun in savage fashion, then collapses and dies in MJ's arms. Later, he's reborn inside a cocoon under a bridge. Crucified by Kulan Gath, Uncanny X-Men number 191. When Sorcerer Kulan Gath takes over Manhattan, Spider-Man is captured, tortured, and crucified as part of a spell. He dies trying to break free, but Doctor Strange later reverses time, undoing the event entirely. Killed by Taraxia, Infinity Gauntlet number 4. In one of the most gruesome deaths, Spider-Man gets his skull crushed by Thanos' ally Taraxia during the Infinity Gauntlet battle. Luckily, the entire universe is reset after Thanos' defeat. Killed by the Green Goblin. In Spectacular Spider-Man number 263, Norman Osborn takes Peter on a brutal ride, smashing him through buildings, bombing him, and finally unmasking him in front of a crowd before seemingly killing him. But the twist? It was all a delusion in Norman's mind. Peter lived. But for readers, it felt chillingly real. Chemical explosion. In Spider-Man number 17, Peter shields a mother and daughter from a Freon blast, dying in the process. His spirit even confronts Thanos in the afterlife. But instead of begging for his own life, Peter demands the little girl's return. Death is impressed and restores them both, a powerful reminder of his selflessness. Transferred into the body of a dying Otto Octavius. Amazing Spider-Man number 700 ends with Dr. Octopus swapping minds with Peter. Peter dies in Oc's failing body, leaving Otto alive in Peter's. But before passing, Peter forces Otto to experience his memories, inspiring him to carry on as the superior Spider-Man. Gets shot, fights 5 villains, dies. In Ultimate Spider-Man number 160, Peter takes a bullet for Captain America and despite his wounds, fights the Sinister Six one last time. He dies protecting Aunt May and Mary Jane. His sacrifice inspires Miles Morales to take up the mantle. Shot and buried by Kraven the Hunter, the most iconic. In Kraven's Last Hunt, Kraven drugs, shoots, and buries Spider-Man alive. 2 weeks later, Peter claws out of his grave, proving you can't keep him down. It remains one of the greatest Spider-Man stories ever told. Spider-Man may die, but he always rises again. That's why he's the ultimate survivor. And those are just some of the times Spider-Man has died in the comics. From being beaten to death to literally bursting out of his own corpse, Peter Parker has gone through it all. But here's the real question. Which death shocked you the most? And do comic book deaths even mean anything anymore when heroes always come back? Let me know your thoughts down below. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and swing that notification bell for more.
You can't mean it. You can't just ignore that she's in danger. What's important is not standing by and allowing someone to suffer or die because you do nothing. If you don't get that, then you don't get the first thing about being Spider-Man.